Please rise on your feet as a mark of respect as the dignitaries, Reverend Dr. Dominic Xavier, SJ, Principal, Reverend Dr. Peter Arokyam, SJ, Vice Principal, Department of Management Studies, Department of Commerce Evening, and Department of Masters of Commerce Evening, Professor Shaukato Banerjee, Dean of the Department of Management Studies, Professor Shoheli Ghosh, Dean of Commerce Evening, Dr. S.K. Basu, Dean of MCOM, and the members of the advisory committee enter the auditorium. We have with us Reverend Dr. Dominic Xavier, SJ Principal, Reverend Dr. Peter Arokyam, SJ Vice Principal, Department of Management Studies, Department of Commerce Evening, and Department of Masters of Commerce Evening, Professor Shaukato Banerjee, Department of Management Studies, Professor Shoheli Ghosh, Dean of Commerce Evening, Dr. S.K. Basu, Dean of MCOM, and members of the advisory committee enter the auditorium. Father, if you kindly take a seat on the stage. Students, please take a seat. We warmly welcome you to the Xavier's Management Society's first calendar event, X-Genesis 2024, curated exclusively for the first-year students of all the departments of St. Xavier's College Autonomous Kolkata. X-Genesis drove participants to demonstrate their values and strive towards achieving success. It brings us immense pride and joy to have hosted our event here on campus and welcoming first-year undergraduates to our college life, full of learning and memories. The 4-day-long stimulation presented a plethora of enriching rounds that tested the critical thinking of the participants, challenged their management skills, and helped them imbibe corporate skills that will pave their future with greater victories to conquer. We at St. Xavier's College believe in our vision of nihil ultra, which means nothing beyond, and this spirit pervaded in the event as well. The purpose of the event was to provide the students with a platform to explore their capabilities, display their potential, and prepare them for the real world. I would now like to invite Reverend Dr. Dominic Xavier, SJ Principal, St. Xavier's College Autonomous Kolkata, to deliver the welcome address.
Very good afternoon to all of you. Reverend Fathers, Dr. Peter Arokyam, the Vice Principal, Mr. Vikas Bagaria, our acclaimed speaker, Mr. Praveen Patwari, our moderator, Professor S.K. Basu, the Dean of Postgraduate Department of Commerce, Professor Sogeli Ghosh, the Dean BCom Evening, Professor Saugata Banerjee, the Dean of Management Studies, and all the faculty members, the Xavier's Management Society, the ever active board members, and our dear students. A warm welcome to this afternoon session. And we have a very inspiring personality, Mr. Vikas Bagaria, to enlighten us. As you know that, in fact, while we were talking in the small parlor, I remember before the pandemic 2018, we had the Delhi chapter of our Alumni Association. He was given a big award by our Alumni Association for his new venture. I think for that, once again, we reminder of 2018, we put our hands together and welcome Mr. As we know that Mr. Vikas Bagaria, the visionary founder of eSafe and an alumnus of St. Xavier's College, a trailblazing entrepreneur who has revolutionized personal hygiene with innovative solutions. Through unwavering dedication and dynamic entrepreneurial spirit, he has built a globally recognized brand that has set new standards in personal hygiene and innovation. Mr. Praveen Patwari, the owner and founder of Actuous Educational Institute, AEI, is a highly qualified chartered accountant who has successfully cleared 14 actuarial papers. I think we need to appreciate them. So let us once again put together and welcome both great personalities to St. Xavier's College. I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Bagaria and Mr. Patwari for being here with us today. Our leaders who overcome challenges, maintains a clear vision, and makes sound decisions under pressure. They foster positive discussions, guide others effectively, and unlock new possibilities. As a result of this belief, the theme Stranger Things was chosen for X-Genesis'24 and by Infinite Realms, which was organized by the Xavier's Management Society, a gladiatorial fight between the young modern revolutionaries, captured realism, dynamic energy, and perseverance in perfect harmony. A variety of managerial focus rounds were incorporated in this 4-day competition to test competitors' ingenuity and uncover their true potential. As we know at St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, autonomous, we uphold the principle of Nihil Ultra, which translates to nothing beyond. And this mindset was undoubtedly prevalent at the event as well. The success of this event is a testament to the hard work and dedication that went into organizing it. I think it's all of us our duty to appreciate all the Xavier's board members. You can see clearly identify them in their t-shirts. So once again, let's put our hands together and appreciate the hard work of our students. Of course, all of you are part of the Xavier's Management Society. As we conclude this remarkable event, I wish you continued success in all your future endeavors. Once again, have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Father, for your kind words. Now, I would request Father Principal to please felicitate our speaker for the day, Mr. Vikas Bagaria. Thank you, Father. I would request Father Vice Principal to please felicitate our moderator for the session, Mr. Praveen Patwari. Thank you, Father. I would like to call upon Professor Sukanya Salke, the Deputy President of the Xavier's Management Society, to felicitate Father Principal. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Basuli Dasgupta to felicitate Father Vice Principal, Department of Management Studies, Department of Commerce Evening, and Department of Masters of Commerce Evening. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would like to call upon the Joint Secretary of the Xavier's Management Society, Anirudh Bantia, to felicitate Professor Saugata Banerjee, Dean of the Department of Management Studies. Thank you, Anirudh. I would like to call upon the Finance and Creative Head of the Xavier's Management Society, Yasha Pugalia, to felicitate Dr. Suheli Ghosh, Dean of the Department of Commerce Evening. Thank you, Yasha. I would like to call upon the Marketing Head of the Xavier's Management Society, Ishita Rani Goenka, to felicitate Dr. S.K. Basu, Dean of the Department of MCom. Thank you, Ishita. Please stand as a mark of respect as the dignitaries leave the auditorium. Now, I would like to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Vikas Bagaria, and our moderator, Mr. Praveen Patwari. Mr. Vikas Bagaria is a seasoned entrepreneur with over 27 years of experience in establishing and scaling successful businesses. He was born and raised in Kolkata and did his bachelor's degree from Xavier's College batch of 1995. His career includes building ventures such as VR Forklift and SRV Controls, where he developed expertise in product development, regulatory compliance, and strategic business growth. In 2013, Vikas, together with his wife Srijana, launched PSafe. Following extensive testing, PSafe was introduced in 2017 under Red Cliff Hygiene Private Limited. In 2020, PSafe won Amazon's Best SMB Brand of the Year and LinkedIn's Top 10 Startups. In addition to his role at PSafe, Vikas founded SRV Damage Prevention in 2002, focused on advanced monitoring systems for the defense, aerospace, power transformers, and energy sectors. An active investor, Vikas has supported startups including BlueSmart, Stage, Innovate, Shadi Saga, and Cutloot. His personal interests include quizzing, adventure sports, long-distance cycling, wildlife photography, and technology. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing our event with our presence. We are glad to have you here with us. I would now like to welcome our respected moderator for the session, Mr. Praveen Patwari. Mr. Praveen Patwari, the owner of Actuators Educational Institute, AEI, is a highly qualified chartered accountant who has successfully cleared 14 actuarial papers. AEI is a premier coaching institute specializing in actuarial science, financial risk management (FRM), and data and business analytics. Under Praveen's leadership, AEI's expert team is dedicated to providing tailored programs and a strong emphasis on practical experience. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. I would now request Mr. Praveen Patwari and Mr. Vikas Bagaria to take the session forward on the topic, navigating the startup ecosystem and fundraising in a post-pandemic world. Hope the audience has a great enriching session. Thank you.
Hello. Okay. So, good evening all the students and good evening sir. So, to start with, I have heard a lot about you since the last few years and doing something which people are not comfortable about is a great task and challenge. So, what PSafe is all about and why did you come up with such an idea?
Okay, first of all, thanks for having me here. Actually, it's a homecoming after 29 years. 95, most of the, I think कोई नहीं आप लोग में से no one was born, I think, when 95, right? This class. So it's really nostalgic for me to be here back. So to answer your question, Praveen, PSafe was actually discovered while I was on a travel road trip with my wife. And she falls sick, and it was so severe that she was hospitalized. And while she was recovering, we got to know that she was diagnosed with UTI, which is urinary tract infections. And so we decided where all we went. At that point of time, for me, public washroom was only the Sulabh Shauchalaya or the petrol pump of the world. But I realized that even a 5-star hotel, even our college, even our powder room when we have a house party is a public washroom. And the toilet seat, which is unsanitized, if there is an E. coli bacteria that touches your skin, it can lead to possible UTI. So that's how the idea of UTI, the PSafe came in. And I can proudly say that it's not a me-too product, it's the world's first toilet seat sanitizer spray. So we produced, we manufactured, and it's actually a product made in India for the world. I think that's the biggest and the proudest moment we have. I think it was needed. I think it was needed because UK कितने सारे लोग को होता है, and at that point of time I remember the data was that 200 million women across the world suffer from UTI annually. 10 million women in India, and I can still say in this room many don't go to doctors also. You know, so that's what still after 10 years of me talking on top of my voice about UTI. So that's needed. That's why we are here.
So like entrepreneurship is quite challenging. At the same time, people boast about it that I'm an entrepreneur. So what are the challenges that you faced in terms of doing the starting part and everything? Can you please brief us about that?
Entrepreneurship का सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज ये होता है कि आप 24/7 काम करते हो, आप छुट्टी पर भी जाते हो तो आपको काम करना पड़ता है. So that's one. Challenges सबके पास होता है. I think when you do a job, you have challenges of your bosses, of performance, of reviews, but you can switch off. But entrepreneur can't switch off. Never. Entrepreneur, so I've been doing business like from, you know, the best part of the morning, become honest, was that 9:40 छुट्टी हो जाती थी. 10 बजे ऑफिस चले जाओ या कहीं आर्टिकल शिफ्ट कर लो, कुछ भी कर लो. So I've been working since first year. So it's almost 33 years now. So what I learned from entrepreneurship is that you can never say never. No matter आपके पास पैसे हैं, आपके पास sales हैं, आपके पास orders हैं, you have to be and you have to turn up every day, no matter what. So that's the biggest challenge and the biggest high as an entrepreneur you can get. As an entrepreneur, there is also I've been talking about that. I won't say it's a challenge, but it's a plus point that since you are doing your business, Praveen, so you know that. But if you ask someone who is in a job, अगर उसको बोलेंगे यार 50% chance है to do this business getting successful, but we as an entrepreneur, if somebody says there is only 1% chance of getting successful, I will do it, because that's what entrepreneurship is. You want to go for that 1% to be successful. So I think that's the challenge for yourself, that's the challenge for others, and to show up every day, no matter what. That's entrepreneurship.
So like today the Vikas Bagaria we know, it was not the same when we look 30 years ago when we started working, right? And we always want success at the first try, but it's not always that. And when did you start PSAFE, sir?
So PSAFE as a product was discovered in 2013, or formally started in 2017, so 7 years.
Okay. So sir, but you have been constantly mentioning your 30 years of work. So it's not your first success, right? There are a lot of failures before that. So can you please tell us something about that?
A lot of failures, because without failures you can't, success का स्वाद नहीं चख सकते, right? Is it okay if I use Hindi in between? या अब क्या हो ना, मेरे को अब 26 साल हो गए दिल्ली गए तो हिंदी बहुत निकलती है. So I'll give you a story about it. So there has always been failure, then you get success. So that was in year 2002-2003. I tied up with an American company which we still represent for our aerospace and defense business, which I don't run now. It's a professionally managed company, but 100% belong to us. So we took the partnership and brought the product into India, and we started marketing those products. Now this is a great lesson which worked for me. That was 22 years back. It may not work now, but since you asked, I'm telling this story very quickly. You may learn from this. So I started marketing those products and getting into the different industry who needs monitoring. 6 months went by. There was not a single invoice, there was not a single sales. And I had another business which I was doing warehousing equipment at that point of time. मेरे friends लोग बोलेंगे you are just wasting your time. This is too ahead of its time in India. I said, no, I think the global is working fine. The world will go into condition-based monitoring, IoTs, and those kind of stuff. IoT tha nahi sir, Bluetooth nahi aayi thi sir. I said, no, something will happen. 12 months passed, not a single invoice, but I kept on going every day, just like an entrepreneur, showing up every day. 12 महीने हो गए. My dad, who still stays in Calcutta, उन्होंने बोला एक बार वापस आओ. मैं आया. मैं 99 में दिल्ली चला गया था. So I came back and said, you're just wasting your time. You're close to now 32 years old. Why you want to get into a business which nobody wants to do it? Nobody knows about it. But I was very, very passionate to be successful in that because somehow I remember that, Kargil war hua hai, India has started spending on defense. I think manufacturing will start, India will be China 2.0, something like that. 15 महीने निकल गए, not a single invoice. Then my wife came, you're just wasting your time. अब क्या करेगा, बीवी की बात तो माननी पड़ेगी. But मैंने बंद नहीं किया. I did a stop loss. कि 18 month में अगर मेरे को invoice नहीं मिलेगा, कोई भी sale भी order नहीं आएगा, I'll close it. Just like what we do in equity, we do a stop loss. So I did a stop loss on my own life, on my own business. 18th month. And I went after that company again and again and again and again. And very quickly now, that company was NCR Corporation who manufactures ATM machines in Pondicherry. My product was so fragile and delicate that it needs to be delivered by hand. I took 36 hours Rajdhani to Chennai, another 8 hours to Pondicherry, delivered it, flew back because you can't carry in plane. 1,000 rupees order after 18 months. जैसे मैं घर पहुंचा, फिर से 1,000 rupees order आया and I did the entire thing. I think that two things and that 18 months made me what I am today. मुझे कुछ भी दो, मैं उसके पीछे पड़ा रहूँगा, करता रहूँगा. I think that's what you need to learn. You need, if you have started something, finish it.
So now I would like to move towards the topic. Now the topic is about fundraising. Since I am also running a business and most of students here we are from family business, but we are very scared about this fundraising term. We always feel koi kuch kar dega. So what is fundraising all about and how is the scenario today?
So fundraising scenario has changed a lot, I think after 2022. By the way, I'll tell you, show of hands, how many of you think that fundraising is a must for any organization? बहुत कम दिख रहे हैं मेरे को. How many of you think that fundraising is the most expensive debt? एक चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट ही बोल सकता है वैसे. और so now coming back to this thing, fundraising तब तक नहीं करना चाहिए जब तक you are ready to answer someone. As an entrepreneur, you have 100% because बोलते हैं ना मुझे कोई के लिए काम नहीं करना इसलिए मैं entrepreneur. लेकिन जैसे आप fundraising करते हो, जब तक एंजल इन्वेस्टमेंट है, फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली है, तब तक ओके है. बट वंस यू रेज मनी फ्रॉम इंस्टीट्यूशनल लाइक द VCs, you have a board. And as a founder, as a CEO, you are answerable to the board. आपने क्या किया यार, आपने डेट नहीं लिया. You just gave a piece of paper and you've taken money. So you are responsible for that money. Right? So again, coming back to your question, the scenario of fundraising has changed a lot. When we were raising fund, लोग growth के लिए देते थे, scale के लिए देते थे. Go and burn money and just scale and scale and scale. Now we are talking about back, not even EBITDA. कि बॉस टैक्स के बाद कितना रुपया बचा, मुझे तो वापस करोगे. So it's very difficult. Don't raise funding just because you are in awe with the Aman Guptas of the world or Piyush Bansals of the world. No, they have done a lot to reach here. You have to build a business where your customers are your biggest investors. If your product market fit is there, you don't need funding. Funding is the most expensive debt. Scenario इतना change हो गया कि आजकल आपको angel investment मिल जाएंगे. You will get angel investments, right? But they are like shark. They take a lot of your equity. Again, why we fear? Because we want to give equity. I don't want to give equity very very easily. So उसके लिए भी मैं बताऊँगा कि what I did for 2016, I was about to close PSafe. मैं shut down कर रहा था. because 3 साल हो चुके थे and I only sold around 100,000 units. I didn't know how to raise funding. So I thought, first in the world, I don't want to give my company to someone to even to 10%. But when I went to the market, they didn't even value my company for 5 crore rupees, something at that point of time, $1 billion. मैं बोला कम से कम मुझे 50 लाख रुपए दे दो यार, मैंने एक प्रोडक्ट बनाया, वर्ल्ड में पहला है, 1 लाख लोग यूज कर चुके हैं. Not even 50 lakh rupees. Because I didn't know how to raise money, I didn't know how to make presentation, I didn't know how to sell story. So the friend of mine who came on board and said, Vikas, if you can give me 50% of your company, we'll form a new company. Give me 50% of your company, though I negotiated at 35%. 65 मेरे पास था. I can help you raise funding. Because he knew what investors want to listen. He knew what is the return on investment, all this kind of stuff. मेरे को 50 लाख नहीं मिल रहे थे. मैंने ठीक है ले लो यार, कितना मिल जाएगा? And he made that presentation and presented to the board, to angel investments, other stuff. December 2016, June 2017, I raised 3.5 crores at a valuation of 15 crores. जो 50 लाख में मैं कंपनी बेचने को तैयार था 6 महीने में, बट हुआ क्या, मैंने 35% दिया. But just imagine, 15 crores, 65%, I was still more richer in terms of paper rather than selling those company at 50 lakh rupees. So which is important, you need to understand, cash or equity. For me at that point of time, cash was important. So I took cash and equity. So that's a very difficult choice which you need to make.
So I also started around 10 years ago, but now after 10 years, you also might have realized that there are a lot of mistakes that we make on this process, and you mentioned that you were not even getting 50 lakh rupees. So what are the causes, and what would you like to advise to the students that if now they want to become entrepreneurs, so what precautions they should take from day one so that they don't land up in a similar situation?
Praveen, there is no set rule book for that. There is no set playbook for that, because every business is dynamic. They change every. Who knows? There will be a COVID, right? We were doing N95 mask in 2019, Delhi pollution ke liye. But who knew that 2020 March I will be एक brand था हमारे यहाँ, pollution safe, will be the highest seller of N95 mask in the entire India. Never knew, right? So because हम पीछे सब छोड़ के वही बेच रहे थे. So it's very dynamic. You never know what is happening. मेरी advice यही है कि if you want to start something, first learn. First do a job. Learn how to take orders, how to give orders, how to respect the chain of commands. Because when you become an entrepreneur, you actually will be doing that. Plus, what was the last second half of the question?
Basically, what precautions they should take?
Yeah. So precaution में ये है कि यार when you make a playbook कि in the third year I will be at a particular revenue. We make our business plan, right? So what I do nowadays is, if I'm talking to people like your age, I said, make yourself available or in that position of third year and see what are the challenges you have at that point of time. Now go backwards. आपने दिया कि मैं 3 साल बाद 100 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू करूंगा, मेरे पास इतने सारे प्रोडक्ट्स होंगे, इतने सारे एम्प्लॉइज होंगे. Now you be in that position virtually and start working backwards. You'll see there are so many problems which you'll have, and you'll start solving all those problems. So once you start growing from 0 to 100, you'll know that you have reached that. So that had happened with me a lot. We have pivoted a lot of time. I thought Toilet Seat Sanitizer can be a global brand. It is a global brand, but I thought that within 5 years I can sell millions and millions of bottles. I still sell around 500,000 bottles a month, right? Because मैं चाहता हूँ कि जितने women हो, we have a purpose statement rather than a mission statement, that every woman should have a P-safe bottle in their purse. तो नहीं हुआ, right? Repeat नहीं हुए. So there are a lot of things which will not happen according to your wishes. So you need to put yourself in that position of your cash flow, of your business plan, and then move backwards. These are the few things. Plus, as an entrepreneur, hiding. You can go terribly wrong in hiding. And what I have learned from my journey, especially in PSAFE, that I have worked with people less than half my age, Gen Zs. I'm 50. The average age in PSAFE is 24. मेरे को हटा दो तो 24 है. Because they know how to sell, how to market, the new way of doing it. So that you need to take it. Also, I always hire people who are far smarter than you. Each one of you in this room are far smarter than both of us. Right? So always hire people who are smarter than you. Because what you know. But what you don't know, your people will know. So take advice from them and then start doing it. So I think these are the few things. I won't say it's a mistake, but these are the few things you need to do about it.
So like, I personally I'm of the mindset that if fundraising, if you talk about fundraising, so nowadays companies are not making profits, but still the valuations which the companies are taking is quite high. So how this thing is working? So our students want to know this.
So अब काफी कुछ चेंज हो गया है. पहले क्या होता था कि you have a top line का multiple you need to care about is a valuation. You being a CA, you know that it has to be अभी जो profitable company है उसका PE का valuation है. But in a startup ecosystem, if you are in a tech, if you are solving a very high problem in terms of fintech, in terms of mobility, then you can get a multiple of say 20, 25, 30, 40. When I raised my first funding, my valuation was multiple of 25 of my revenue. But now if you ask, it's 3 or 4x only. Because things have changed. Now people are not investing to a loss-making company unless and until you are the Zeptos of the world, right? You can raise $1 billion because you are solving so many things. So you need to understand which kind of business you are. आपको उसके जो उस business के vertical के जो top players हैं, right? उनका क्या PE multiple चल रहा है? Then उनका क्या revenue multiple है? That thing will help you out because now for your angel investment, seed investment, you can ask anything because people will bet on you, not on your business. But when you go to angel investments, post-angel investment, which is your VC investment, they will invest on your books, they will invest on your revenue, they will invest on your scale, market size. So everything in together now it's all about if it's a consumer brand like us, which is I call myself an FMCG brand, not a D2C. By the way, D2C is only one channel of distribution. You get somewhere around 4 to 8x. Like Mamaearth got around 10x because they were scaled, right? So it's all about multiplier of your value of your top line. Now people are also looking at how soon you can profitable. So these are the few metrics which are happening. Valuation, more than a unicorn is a myth, right? So valuation is also a myth unless and until you compare with the industry peer, what is the PE they are trading at.
So many students here are second years, third years, and they want to basically start a business, but they don't get the confidence to start a business. And out of 100 students, if you see, only maybe 5% they go towards entrepreneurship. So what is stopping them, and what security means to you? Like if I'm taking a job of 5 lakhs, I'm satisfied with that. But how can we motivate the students to take entrepreneurship as a career?
So दो क्वेश्चन है इसके अंदर. So मैं पहला पूछूंगा कि what's stopping them. I think do you all agree कि आप सब जब उठते हैं सुबह, when you get up in the morning, you get up with 1,000 ideas, right? Come on, cheer, make some cheer, right? 1,000 ideas? Yes. How many of you go back to the same 1,000 ideas in the bed? Every one of us. I do that because I don't know how to execute. So जो हम डरते हैं ना, to answer your question, we are afraid of execution. We are afraid of failing. Am I right? Yes. So failing अपने को हटाना पड़ेगा. No matter because 1000 बार fail होंगे तब जाके आप success होंगे. You have to keep on trying and trying. Remember 18 months of my journey? The first 18 months? You just have to keep on trying. You can get up with 1,000 ideas. If you know how to execute it, you can start a business. For that, what you need to do? Go and work somewhere. Do an internship. Learn something. Make yourself so strong in one or two departments that you know that मैं तो वहाँ का गुंडा हूँ यार. मुझे वो आता है, बाकी मैं अपने से स्मार्ट लोगों को हायर करके काम करवा लूंगा. Am I right? That's how my fathers, my grandfathers, maybe each one of your family members who are doing businesses, they have done like that. They are the greatest entrepreneur. So go and talk to your parents, go and talk to your grandfathers how they have started the business. जब startup कोई नहीं हुआ, I think they will be the best mentor which you can have. So again, coming back to this, डरना नहीं है, fail होना है, but you should have something to fall back. For me, I had other business, so if I had failed, I would have gone back because 18 months का मेरे पास stop loss था. इसीलिए have at least 18 months of बोलते हैं ना खाने पीने जो भी चीज़ के लिए सामान है आपके पास तब लगे काम करो क्योंकि आप a lot of things have changed versus what you used to do in 2002. So do some kind of work, do some kind of gig. If you are good in some professional stuff, do that. If you know singing, go and sing in the bar and get money and then pay for your entrepreneurship, but do something on that part. Otherwise it will be too difficult. And go to a city where there's opportunities. I'm sorry, I love Canada.
So like it's very difficult to manage your professional responsibilities and your personal responsibilities when you're managing a business. Like your business is like your child, you need to nurture it every day. So how do you manage that?
So initially, I used to be very operational heavy. So now I'm 50, I have around 300 people in PSA. And what I've done is I have created leaders in each verticals. So as a founder, as a CEO, I have stopped working today. I have stopped working tomorrow. I only work on the third quarter of my business. So people works today who are into operations, which is the bottom there. उसके ऊपर जो है they will work for tomorrow because they are getting things ready for them. जो leadership है they are working on the monthly level, and I work on the quarterly level because on the third quarter because I'm making their way, the road for them. So when they come, they can drive their car very smoothly. So as a founder, as a CEO, I only take 1 or 2 decisions a day. That's it. पर वो आपको लगेगा मतलब 20-25 साल पहुंचोगे तब लगेगा अभी नहीं अभी तो आपको सब काम करना पड़ेगा एज अ फाउंडर एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर यू हैव टू डू एवरीथिंग यू हैव टू बी द मास्टर ऑफ ऑल बोलते हैं मास्टर ऑफ नन एंड जैक ऑफ ऑल दैट व्हाट यू डू सो आफ्टर अ स्केल यू शुड नॉट डू माइक्रो मैनेजमेंट सो मैं माइक्रो मैनेज नहीं करता आई बट आई हैव केप्ट माय रिव्यू वेरी स्ट्रांग एवरी वीक I have or every day I have an MIS dashboard, what is happening, so I know I can ask questions. People know that I can ask questions, but I don't do. I don't walk on the soft floor so that people get intimidated, but I get a watch, so and I start working on. So that's why I'm sitting here on Friday afternoon. I'm not in my office, so because my team is working for me, so you have to make it very strong.
So like one question more which I have is that you mentioned there was a delivery which you took from Rajdhani, and so when we start we always feel that I can do this, I can do that, and I'm the best, and I don't need anyone else. But once you scale up, you feel that yes, you need people because it cannot be done by a single person. And you mentioned about hiring as well. So when they are starting, so what is the right time basically, and what importance does hiring play?
There is no right and wrong time. जब आपको लगा कि आपका 24 घंटे you are getting is less, start hiring people. When you get to know that you don't know finance, you don't know compliance, you have to have people. Because if you're good in sales, you can't do manufacturing, you can't do accounts, right? So as soon as you know your ability, which is and the things which you need to do beyond your ability, you need to hire. And I can also tell you what worked for me when I hired. I was never an A grader. मैं हमेशा एक mediocre student रहा हूँ. Luckily Xavier में उस समय अभी मैं सुनने में आया कि 99% सुबह morning में cut off है. SRCC और दिल्ली में ना SRCC और Xavier कैनेडा के बीच में हमेशा competition रहता है. So whoever passed out जो पढ़ रहे हैं. I was lucky that उस समय 73% cut off था CBSE में. 75. So I always believe that hire people who are never an A grader or always an A grader. Don't hire people. Hire people who have been or who have tasted failure. Right? Now I'll give you an example why. Because when I have tasted failure, it doesn't mean that you have failed in any of the year. It's just that you're not good, you're trying hard, but you're not coming in first 3 or first top 10, but you know everything. Because somebody who has been never an A grader or who has been on the bottom of the curve, if you remember U curve, right? If you're at the bottom of the U curve, anyone, what are the ways, 2 ways in that curve to go up? Anyone? There are always 2 ways. Either you go left up or you go right up. So when you're at the bottom of the curve, up upar hi jaoge. So hire that person who has tasted, who have gone down, because he knows how to go up. But if you hire people or person who's always been an A-grader, अगर वहाँ पर crisis आएगी आपके business में, वो घबरा के छोड़ के चला जाएगा. Agree?
Sir, the business which you are operating is in a very unique domain. Like, so what I personally feel is educating the audience is very challenging. So how do you do that? And apart from audience also, you see telling the investors about it, like the scalability of the business, how consumers are going to perceive that product.
So that was like in 2016, 17, 18. I think now we are on a scale where we have a scale. So by the way, PCET is now in 22 countries. We sell through 50,000 stores. We have sold to close to 20 million unique users. So that's a different thing. But initially, I am into an industry which is taboo. A, menstrual hygiene. B, sexual wellness. Nobody talks about it. Even Google doesn't allow us, Facebook doesn't allow us to advertise a female condom. They don't even advertise at one point of time. Toilet seat sanitizer advertise करने नहीं देते. बहुत बार हमारे जो menstrual cups है, they didn't allow us to advertise them. Because and whenever we used to show blood on sanitary napkin, they didn't allow us to do it. So I think it was a very, very difficult. The biggest mistake which I did was I started marketing to people my age. That was the biggest mistake I did. So I had this girl who was heading my R&D. She was 21 years old, and she came to me and said, "Vikas, you're doing bullshit." Okay, why? Because your age. Why you want to do it your age for your children? Start marketing to us. We are Gen Zs. You all are Gen Zs here. We don't want to use products which our parents are using it. We want to use product which is body positive, sex positive, and gender equality to talk about it. So that's how we change the narration of our brand. And we started doing bold advertisements. Right? Of course, it's a thin line between erotic and sensual. So we were on the sensual side. And we talked about the sustainability, the ease of products. And whosoever used to buy from us, we used to go after them. Ma'am, why you bought this? Can you write a review about it? We were the first brand to start influencer marketing in 2017. We were the first brand to be a hygiene partner for a Bollywood movie, Toilet Ek Prem Katha, March 2017. Nobody has heard about a startup doing a partnership with a star like Akshay Kumar. So I think those things, and I was just telling a few the people from here in the room outside that when you talk about how you talk about it, for 6 months, my DP on LinkedIn in 2018 was carrying a sanitary pads like this, soaked in blood. That's how you talk about your business.
That was really insightful, sir. Now, I would like to ask the audience if you have any questions regarding entrepreneurship, regarding marketing, you can ask, sir. Can you raise your hand? Yes. Please.
Keep on bouncing the mic. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. My name is Rohan Shah. Sir, we talked much about fundraising during the session. Sir, I belong from a business family. So during the COVID, we had faced like everyone faced losses or something like that. My family faced a loss of 21 lakhs. And I think between a businessman and between an entrepreneur, there is a huge difference. Not every entrepreneur, like not every businessman is an entrepreneur. Because a businessman does what every other guy is doing, and an entrepreneur is doing something on his own. It's different from the rest of the world. Sir, if right now, my dad cannot be an entrepreneur at this stage because he knows that if he is doing any kind of fundraising, it is of great risk. What we calculate in our books that in this business there is 50% risk and 50% success. He cannot count that because he knows if that business does not get success and he invests all his savings or what his capital he got, he cannot carry on his my education, my brother's education. So what would you say that what should that person do about fundraising or starting any startup or anything like that?
So the question is for your father, right? What he should do?
Yeah, for any middle-aged person or who is not of there is an age gap. I'm saying I can take a risk, but not every person can take that same risk as me.
Your father won't take a risk because he's already lost money in COVID.
No, I'm not saying that he can take a risk. He can invest money in many startups, but if I can start working right now, I can take it.
So, see, first of all, I didn't understand your question.
Okay, sir.
Anything else, but what I understood is that your father lost money. He's a businessman. An entrepreneur takes risk.
Yeah.
You want to go out and take risk, right?
Yeah, that is my point. At the age of 18, that amount of risk or what I can do, not a person of your age or maybe elder than me can do that.
मैं पीछे मैंने 43 का तब चालू किया था.
That is what I am saying. That what you want to say about that?
I think no, guys. With all due regards, Rohan, right?
Yes, sir.
Rohan.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Rohan, I now understand your question. See,
Yes, sir.
entrepreneur and businessman. Businessmen do a calculated risk only to earn profits.
Sure, sir.
Businessman.
Yes, sir.
Entrepreneur will go for 1% of success. Right? So if you want to be an entrepreneur, go for that 1% of success. Everything will fall into place.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next question. End of time. Please ask their questions.
I also want the women in the room to ask questions. Come on.
My name is Yash. Actually, I have a very specific question about fundraising. Supposedly, I have a company who is growing at good scale. It is a B2B manufacturing business and it is a local business right now. It is only 2 or 3 years old, and if they want to expand to different cities, what should they do in that case? They should go for fundraising or get consultants to get bigger clients. The main objective is to get bigger clients.
Yash, right?
Yes.
Yash, are you solving a bigger problem or you're just doing a manufacturing?
So actually, it is not a bigger problem, but we are trying to do a kind of innovation. Like it is a traditional business, but we are trying to do a branding.
So these kind of businesses are not venture funded.
Yes, sir.
The VCs of the world will not give you funding. Best thing is you get registered into MSME, right? Get registered into Startup India. There are a lot of grants and a lot of manufacturing funds are available at a very lesser rate of interest, right? Because in the manufacturing, very less companies are funded at a growth at the initial stage. If you have gone to a growth stage, then you will get a funding depending upon your multiple of your revenues. At this moment, आपको बाहर से पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे, equity नहीं मिलेंगे. आपको you can get a manufacturing loan. Best for you is working capital loan, because if you go and ask the business whosoever is doing this business, उनको working capital loan चाहिए होता है. और working capital loan बहुत easily बैंक से मिल जाते हैं, बहुत सारे institutions से मिल जाते हैं. But venture funding manufacturing में बहुत difficult है.
So, but actually, we are growing at a 40-50% CAGR on.
Doesn't matter at all. Tell me any manufacturing startup which you get funding.
So
Working capital, MSMEs, form a new company, maybe you can pay interest, income tax. You won't be, you get registered in startup India, so 10 साल आपको income tax नहीं देने पड़ेंगे. Again, continuously for 3 years you are giving profit. I think take help from him, he knows about reasons starting of it. First 3 years of profit, only then you have to give this thing. So a lot of things which government is offering, but venture will not fund you. Very honestly and bluntly.
Next.
We have a lady here also.
Can you please pass the mic?
Hello sir, I am Kaushik. You just wanted a woman to ask you questions, so here I am. You just mentioned right now that entrepreneurs are the ones that go for 1% of success and business persons are the ones who take calculated risk to earn profit. So if profit is not the definition of success, primary success for a business, then what is?
7th year, we are still making losses, but seeing 20 million women reducing the risk of UTI, that's a success for me.
Next, can we have...
Just to add here is, I've been lucky that I have a venture fund so I can invest and I can make losses. So that's I think God has been kind of.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, so I have a lady, then we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Hello, sir. As we talked about fundraising about your startup, I wanted to ask, what were your initial steps as you started your brand? Basically, after getting the idea about your esteemed brand, what were your initial steps?
So when I discovered a product, I started giving it to my friends and families to try it. और पता ही है ना, friends and family बोलते हैं free में मिला कौन use करेगा, right? काम होगा या नहीं होगा. They used to say that. But what I did was I wanted some voice from the industry. So I went to gynecologists and I said, can you allow me to study how many patients you get with a complaint of UTI? So data, I worked on data, that how many, which age group, what type of background, economical background, age, race, culture are suffering from UTI. We found out that a lot of girls class 6 to 10 were getting UTIs because they were not going to their school and colleges washrooms, right? It was dirty, they were holding on the peas, right? And then when they came back, they were having a lower abdominal pain, and UTI was happening. UTI can happen with a lot of reasons. One was not drinking enough water. So I started going to the gynecologist and said, why don't you give this? Or because it's not a RX product, it's an OTC. So you can just give it to your patients who are suffering from UTI and see if the risk goes down, and if they are sitting on the unsanitized washroom. So data. I collected data, where and how it's happening, how it's reducing. But before that, I went to the labs to test my product, the efficacy of the product. Does it kills E. coli bacteria which causes UTI? So that was an initial way to make a product successful, because product is king anywhere. If your product is great, you don't need to teach, you just need to make people aware out of it. And then of course, lot of sampling, lot of trials, a lot of sessions, lot of education. मेरे लोग बोलते थे, who keeps a brand as a P? But it's an India-proof name, P safe. So I think both are.
Thank you, sir.
Can you have the last question?
Good evening, sir. First of all, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. Nobody asked me that.
That's why I asked you. So I will ask a very simple question. How do you ensure that your products are accessible to the underserved communities?
Good question.
Thank you.
Very good question. The product is actually not made for rural India as of now. But what we have done is our two products, which is reusable menstrual cups and reusable sanitary pads, which we have engaged with many NGOs and state governments, and we are asking them not to distribute a plastic sanitary pads which takes 500 years to decompose. Rather use our reusable pads which can be used for 60 washes or 14 cycles or 1 year, and a PSAFE menstrual cup which can be last for 5 years. So these two products are going to the underserved community. Through NGOs, we cannot donate. We give them at a very cost price of some bit of margins. That's the only way we are doing it. Because I don't know how many of you know, but if there are 100 menstruators in India, men also bleed. Only 35 menstruator uses sanitary pads or any period products. 65% of menstruator in India uses ashes, banana leaves, newspapers, rugs. So that's what I think if each one of us start educating the people around us, our maids, the guard's wife or the milkman wife, I think that's what the biggest help which you can do of your education.
Thank you, sir.
Can we do one more question?
Last question.
Good evening, sir. This is Aryan. Sir, my question is, sir, how important is social life and hobbies to you? And how do you manage your time, like practicing your hobbies and also living a social life?
Very good question. Initially, when I was alone, I was building up. There was no social life for me. The work, and work. But it's important that you need to release your energy somewhere. So walking initially was the only thing which I used to do. But now, since I have a privilege of so many people working with me, so whenever I travel, I try to sneak out some time. And over the last 1 year, I've been very actively playing pickleball, which really helps me. And that's what's my hobby, and that's what I wanted to get. I want to be the number one above 50 in India, so that's my target. So I think work harder, of course, and I stopped working on Saturdays now. So I try to go the long distance cycling, some tracking. I think that's all. But yes, work as well as pleasure, that's important.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. My name is Vikas Sharma and I am a student of first year. Sir, speaking in accordance to quotidian existence, what I feel, as you have highlighted the very less percentage of the women in India using sanitary pads, and as we have been talking about the menstrual health of your women, what I, in my opinion, feel the most ironical thing is Whisper. You know, the product, the sanitary pad, it's branded Whisper, and Whisper means saying something in a very low voice, right? So I think in the Gen Z India, every one of us present over here, we are just free to talk about condoms and this menstrual cycles, but the word whisper in itself is creating psychological pressure on the individuals to not expand their boundary and talking more openly about this thing. So don't you think that the brand Whisper must be changing its name, like it must change its name?
So Whisper belongs to P&G, Procter & Gamble. It's a 100-year-old company. They make somewhere around $100 billion in revenues. They started Whisper in India some 35-40 years back, and they did it right because nobody wants to talk about it, so they want to whisper. When I entered this particular business, or companies like us, there are a lot of companies, and I regard them. The Whispers and Stay Free share, they will duopoly in the market. Out of say 3,000 crores market share, pet food is 40,000 crores. Sanitary napkin is now only 7,000 crores. You can imagine. Pet food. So when we entered, they had 95% duopoly. After 7 years, Whisper and Stay Free has only 69%. So I think we are on the way to defeat Whispers. That's the only way we can do it.
Thank you. Wonderful session. It is
My pleasure.
something which should be done. So the first thing I I would like to add the point what he was trying to point out. I am a researcher in gender studies, and especially the recent work I am doing is on menstrual hygiene. So I have seen that what you mentioned, National Family Health Survey, which is showing a growth in the percentage use. But you see, the brand name and all that won't change. What will change? Who is the star here is the taboo. Taboo is basically taking the 70% of the non-users. Why they are not using? Because they cannot say, they cannot discuss openly. Who will get the product from the market? Men. Who will decide how much to spend? Men. So how they will decide and discuss? So we need more women power in the family. So we got intra-household discussion. So taboo is the start, sir. We need to break the taboo.
100% agree, and just on a closer note, you know, the things have started changing now. In South India, the first period of a daughter or the puberty is celebrated, the father brings a cake and they celebrate it. It has started changing in North India as well. I think we did a campaign called Men Buy Packs. There was a single father raising a daughter and how he used to buy a pack for a daughter. I think a lot of things have changed, and thanks to this generation, the discussion has started coming in the open. I'll give you an example also in my office. Out of 300 people, we have 200 women, and they wear a red dot on their chest when they are chatting. You know, that's how we are making the taboo out. So I think that's what we need to do.
And it was really great to listen about, sir. But one thing I would like to add is that your brand is not only about the products. It's about that taboo which ma'am mentioned. It's about that thought process. Because when I was in college, being very honest, I didn't even know about these things. So because we need to talk about these things, right, in family or among friends. So, but nowadays they.
Well, आप भी start करो अपने घर में ना, तभी होगा. Then you have to start doing it. I think we have to all see. 2017, ma'am, the penetration was 18%. The movie Pac-Man made another 5%. The speech by current Prime Minister from Red Force in 2020 Independence Day speech, Father, he used the word sanitary napkin. First time a Prime Minister used the word sanitary napkin, increased another 5%. Right? So and then recently last year, Supreme Court said that menstruation is not a disease. It should not be treated as a disease. Not also that's why it's taboo. I think that's added another 5%. That's why we are at around 35-37%. I think we all in this room, if we say that we're gonna talk about it loudly, we're gonna educate our helpers, you know, the urban poor. I think see how India will grow. There's a huge possibility. You're talking about business idea? Menstruation. Female health. India ka GDP ka 3% goes to health, and out of that 3%, only 10% goes to women's health. See what you can do. Huge opportunity.
We follow a very small practice at our office. If the girl is in the cycle, and that pains a lot. So there is immediate holiday and leave for.
So I don't agree with this. Girls, do you agree of getting a gender bias? You are getting holiday. I don't agree. If you are in pain, you take your holiday on your will, not that you've been given a holiday. Agar aapko pain hai, then you take a holiday. But otherwise, hey, the first day of the period you are on holiday. I will not give you work. That's gender bias.
It was actually about the pain part.
I got it, but I'm saying that this is the world is divided into two. You know, should be given or not. A, we say that we should be in a parity, and then we say, hey, you've been given a holiday for a first day period. I think that's right. It's up to me as a woman, as a menstruator, I want to take a holiday.
So thank you so much, sir.
Good. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Did you like the session? Yes. So I want to take a picture with all of you.
जब आएगा तो नाम
A very good evening to Father Principal, Father Vice Principal, members of the advisory committee, and all the dignitaries present here. Respected professors, faculty members, participants, and all students of St. Xavier's College Autonomous Kolkata. As we conclude this session, I would like to thank our esteemed speaker, Mr. Vikas Bagaria, for providing such an insightful session to enlighten the young minds. Engaging with you in person was indeed an enriching experience for each one of us. We sincerely appreciate you taking out time out of your busy schedule to join us today for such an inspiring session. Sir, your knowledge will be both beneficial and motivating to our audience. I would also like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our respected moderator, Mr. Praveen Patwari, for the invaluable contribution and smooth moderation of today's session. Thank you so much for being a part of the session. Now, I would like to call upon Professor Saugato Banerjee to deliver the vote of thanks.
Respected Father Principal, Father Vice Principal, our eminent speaker and moderator of the day, dear colleagues and dear students, a very good evening to you all. Thank you for inviting me to propose the vote of thanks. At the outset, I'd like to express my heartfelt thanks to our eminent speaker, Mr. Vikas Bagaria, for accepting our invitation and taking out time for our students. Thank you, sir, for enlightening our students with your presence and knowledge. We are really grateful to you. Thanks to the moderator of the session, Mr. Praveen Patwari, for setting up the tune from the very beginning and making the speaker session an interactive one. Let me allow to express my gratitude to Father Principal and Father Vice Principal for their constant support and encouragement. Without their blessings and guidance, this program or event would not have been possible. Thank you, Father, for being there with us, all of us. My special appreciation goes to each and every member of the Xavier's Management Society, led by the two able joint secretaries, Anirudh and Engineer, for their hard work and dedication. I would like to place on record my hearty thanks to all the members, all the volunteers, because of whom we made this event possible. I wish you all the best for your future endeavors. I would like to especially thank our mentors, Shupriyo sir and Shukana ma'am, for guiding our students to carry out this program so nicely. Without their help and cooperation, this event would not happen possible. So I believe they deserve a big round of applause for them. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the MC of the today's speaker session for coordinating the whole thing so professionally. And last but not the least, I'd like to thank all the students present over here for your patience hearing and active participation and making this event a grand success. And there is a good news for all of you, because I believe that after having after having an enriching session like this, students, we should not go for class anymore today. So, very good. So there will be no class today. Please, can you wait? Can you remain at your seat and wait for the further instruction? Thank you all. Have a nice evening.
Please maintain silence. Thank you, sir, for your kind words. I would now like to call upon Father Vice Principal to give a token of appreciation to our speaker, Mr. Vikas Bagaria, and our moderator, Mr. Praveen Patwari. We, the students of St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, are extremely honored to have amongst us our esteemed speaker, Mr. Vikas Bagaria, and our moderator, Mr. Praveen Patwari. Thank you for taking out time and being with us here today. We hope you had a great time and we look forward to hosting you again. I request everybody in the auditorium to maintain the decorum as the closing ceremony will start shortly. As we come to the end of today's speaker session, we now move forward towards the closing ceremony of our first calendar event, X-Genesis'24, Unveil Infinite Realms. I would like to call upon Father Vice Principal to say a few words and announce the winners of X-Genesis'24.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, and esteemed faculty members, Xavier's Management Society, board members, joint secretaries, working committee members, and my dear beloved students of management department. A very good evening to all of you. It's really nice to be here. After sir has announced there is no class, we all had a wonderful, smile. Student, probably this is the first time in the history that I have been here for a long time on this topic, something being openly talked in this hall or in this campus anywhere, I can tell you. For this, I must thank for arranging such a wonderful person, not only on this topic, to share, beside that his own experience, how the startups could be for you in future. So let's surely learn something, how we need to carry on in future to fit in this vast world when you are going to go out after with these degrees like we call it. So I sincerely, on behalf of Father Principal and the entire department, would like to thank our speaker, Vikas Bagaria. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. A bit of my experience. You see, I have to handle boys and girls as well. You have seen. I have been doing this probably from 1990 onwards in the teaching line. And I was a student in this college like you, seated only once or two times in this auditorium. The auditorium used to be used only for inauguration. And there was a time Utpal Dotto died, so for him, because being our own alumni, so we had a function. That's the two times I have come in, and hardly I came on the stage, except for that program to play little tabla. To tell you this, you are getting wonderful opportunities. Remember this to make use of it. For the freshers, it was specifically organized this function. From here, take lessons how you want to change certain bit in your life, which would change completely of different things in future for you. That's most important. I often see the first program used to be so nice and the first day's program used to be so nice, but this time, let me tell you with confidence, the last program of this event, X-Genesis, is something remarkable and memorable because of the topic as well as because of the persons that you had just now hearing. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, having said that, my dear student, it's my also humble duty to express my gratitude to so many people who have done wonderful things for this program. I just also ask pardon in the beginning because I have been very harsh. If I have to get the best out of it, I can't be going just, everything's all right. No. I have to pull up certain time. I have done that this time. I'm extremely sorry, but at the same time, that's how we learn. Be it students or our own colleagues. So I must start thanking particularly the entire Xavier's Management Society, led by able professors in charge, Dr. Sukanya Sarkar as well as Dr. Supriya Patra, as well as joint secretaries, working committee members, board members, and all of them have worked really hard. Because sometimes you find that they are not like you just coming for the classes and going. They are here more than 8 hours, 10 hours a day. A program of this type cannot happen just overnight, my dear students. You have to foresee a lot of things. And this time it so happened, wherever they had booked rooms for conducting sessions, due to Teachers' Day program or some examination in the school side, everything was cancelled. And they were running pillar to post to find places. We were able to accommodate it because of their hard work. So let's all give a hand to this Thank you, one and all present here, for your wonderful interaction, not just presence, a wonderful interaction. I was here just for 10 minutes. I was touched by the questions that you asked, not only on the topic, there was also slight mention of how do you balance your life. And he said it, student health is very, very important. The topic is also to do with health, but overall today, beside your physical health, your mental health is important. The mental health is expressed also through your physical health, what you do. As he said, weekend egos. Not just only, student, let me tell you, you find these days what all you hear. I think yesterday or day before yesterday, a very good bodybuilder at the age of 19, because of, they use all kind of steroids. I'm not talking about those kind of lifestyle. A lifestyle which is actually good for your health. You need to sleep. Sleeping is also one of the most important things. We don't sleep, we scroll a lot of times. So therefore, work-life balance for your study-life balance is most important. Please take care of yourself. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Let's just announce the winners. Take care. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Father. Now, the moment everyone has been waiting for all day is here. I'd like to invite Dr. Basuli Dasgupta, Professor in charge, Department of Finance, to declare the winners of X-Genesis 2024.
So without wasting time, now let me announce the winner's name. Second runner-up, Arina Victoria and Rishi Gupta. I would like to call upon Dr. Rajni Gupta to present them with the token of appreciation. Students, show your energy. Thank you, ma'am. Now the first runner-up are Khushi Singhania and Himanshi Jindal. Please give a big round of applause. I would like to request Professor Kaushik Mitra, Dean of the Department of Management Studies, to present them with a token of appreciation. Thank you, sir. So the finally the moment has come. So any guess who will be the winners? So now finally the winner of the X-Genesis 2024 are Vashu Shrest Bansal and Hardik Sharma are being awarded a cash prize of 5,000. I would like to call upon Reverend Dr. Peter Arokian SJ, Vice Principal of the Department of Management Studies, Department of Commerce Evening and Department of Masters of Commerce Evening to present our winners with a token of appreciation. Thank you, Father. Congratulations to all the winners. I hope that all the participants have a wonderful experience during this year. Thank you.
Attendees, please maintain silence. Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to request the dignitaries to please have a seat in the auditorium as we show a few snippets of X-Genesis 2024. X-Genesis was a highly successful first-year event, drawing enthusiasm, participation, and fostering a sense of community. Let us have a look at some of the snippets of this year's X-Genesis 2024. It is a profound honor and pleasure to stand before you today as we gather to mark the closing of this remarkable event. On behalf of St. Xavier's College, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for your valuable contributions, unwavering support, and enthusiastic participation. We would like to acknowledge the presence of our honorable dignitaries. It is indeed a pleasure to have amongst us Reverend Dr. Xavier, SJ, Principal, Reverend Dr. Peter Arokian, Vice Principal, Department of Management Studies, Department of Commerce Evening, Professor Kaushik Mitra, Dean of the Department of Management Studies, Professor Shoheli Ghosh, Dean of Commerce Evening, Dr. S.K. Basu, Dean of MCOM, Professor Sukanya Sarke, Deputy President of the Xavier's Management Society, Professor Supriyo Patra, our Vice Deputy President, and all our respected professors. We are grateful for the unconditional support that you have extended towards us. None of this would have been possible without your unwavering guidance and contribution. I would also like to thank the support staff of the Department of Management Studies for their constant help and promptness in facilitating us to achieve all of our endeavors. Last but not the least, I would like to thank the support staff of the auditorium for the smooth functioning of our event. So lastly, something exclusive for the BMS department. Everyone has seen the snippets of X-Genesis 2024. So would you like to be on that side of the table and actually experience of how it feels like organizing the event? Recruitment open tonight, midnight. Thank you so much.